Yes, so how do we fix this? It starts with a shift in your mindset. Many of you are empaths. You are givers, and you are terrified that if you stop explaining, you will become selfish or cold. I want to make a crucial distinction here between info dumping and defensive explaining. If you are sharing details because you are excited, because you love a topic, that is info dumping. That is a gift. Do not stop doing that. But if you are sharing details because you are afraid the other person will be angry, that is defensive explaining. That is what we need to heal. You need to embrace strategic selfishness. Think of the oxygen mask rule on an airplane. You must secure your own mask before helping others. Why? Because if you pass out, you are useless to everyone. Your energy is your oxygen. Self-respect is simply the reputation you have with yourself. Every time you break a promise to yourself, a promise to rest, a promise to have alone time just to please someone else, you are teaching your brain, I don't matter. Protecting your energy is not a rejection of others. It is an act of preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Now let's get practical. How do you actually stop this habit in the moment? I want to give you one powerful acronym used in recovery circles. JADE. It stands for justify, argue, defend, explain. These are the 4 behaviors you must avoid when setting a boundary. When you say no, and then you immediately start to justify why or explain your situation, you are opening a door. You are inviting the other person to argue with your reasons. If you say, I can't come because I have to clean my house, a pushy person will say, oh, just clean it tomorrow. You gave them a hook and they pulled it instead. I want you to practice the power of the period. I can't make it on Friday, period. No thank you, period. No JADE, just a clean boundary. When you say it, you will feel an uncomfortable silence. Your anxiety will scream at you to fill that silence with an excuse. Do not do it. Sit in that silence. That silence is where your self-respect grows. When you start respecting your own energy, you act as a filter. You repel the people who only want to use you, and you attract the people who respect you. Your existence is valid. Your no is enough. You do not need to justify your space on this earth. Protect your energy. It is the most expensive thing you own. And once you master the power of stopping your explanation, you are ready for the next level, the power of silence. If you want to know why the quietest person in the room is often the most powerful, and how to use strategic silence to gain total control in any conversation, click this video right here. I'll teach you how to stop being the performer and start being the observer. I'll see you over there. I want you to think about the last time you said no to someone. Did you just say no, or did you immediately follow it up with a 3-paragraph text message? You explained why you were busy. You listed your entire schedule. You apologized 3 times. You offered a detailed excuse about your health or your family or your work. And when you finally hit send, you didn't feel relieved, you feel exhausted, you feel small, and deep down you feel a lingering anxiety. Did they believe me? Are they mad at me? If this is you, I want to start with a very important distinction because depending on how your brain is wired, you might be doing this for 2 very different reasons. For some of you, especially if you have an ADHD or autistic brain, you over-explain because of what psychologists call bottom-up processing. To you, details aren't clutter. They are the structural components of the truth. You explain because you value accuracy. That is not a flaw, that is a specific cognitive style. But for many others, this habit comes from a different place. It comes from trauma. In psychology, we call this fawning. Fawn is the 4th trauma response right after fight, flight, and freeze. It is a defense mechanism developed by people who learned early on that to be safe, they had to be agreeable. When you over-explain from a place of fawning, your subconscious mind is screaming, please don't be mad at me. Look, I have a valid reason. I am still a good person. You are not communicating information. You are begging for permission to have boundaries. And today we are going to stop begging. Here is the hard truth that we need to face. It is counterintuitive, but it is backed by social psychology. The more you explain, the less you are respected. There are 2 powerful psychological principles at play here. First is status signaling. In any social dynamic, the person with the higher status explains less. Think about a respected leader. When they make a decision, they state it, they don't justify it. When you offer unasked for explanations, you are signaling submission. You are telling the other person, my time is not my own. My decisions require your approval. Second is the scarcity principle. Human beings are wired to value what is scarce. If you are always available, always explaining, always trying to accommodate everyone, you become a commodity. You are teaching people that your energy is cheap. There's a brilliant insight I saw recently that sums this up. You stop being available, and the world suddenly starts seeing you in a new light. This isn't about playing games. It is about self-respect. When you stop over-explaining, you create a sense of autonomy. You signal that your no is final. And paradoxically, people respect a firm no far more than a wavering apologetic.